Cork victory, he says. The convincing semi-final win over Kerry has heightened optimism in the county. And while allowances must be made for Kerry's performance in that, there could be no denying that there was a massive gulf between them on the day. Cork had scarcely a weak link. And so today he believes, assuming that Cork will be taking nothing for granted, they should be capable of booking a quarter-final spot without too much fuss. The Nina Guardian, meanwhile, looking at it from the other point of view, appears to come to the same conclusion. Tip face huge task against Cork, says the sub-headline in the main piece. But this is the actual headline. The graph, they believe, has to turn sometime. The football world this week is anticipating another annihilation, acknowledges the writer. Common sense says a Cork victory. But there is determination in this team. There is no shortage of quality players in the Tip squad. So Tip, he says, get out there and have one almighty go at confounding everyone.
Yeah. Goalkeeper Philly Ryan has been past fit to play this afternoon, and this is how the whole thing will shape up. Sean Cullen has been given the task of manning the edge of the square, with Niall Fitzgerald moving out to centre half. Just back from suspension, Kevin Mulrine is in midfield alongside Fergal O'Callaghan. The really big names appear in the Tip attack. You've been hearing about Brendan Cummins, hurling goalkeeper yesterday, and he's on the 40 today with the deadly duo, Peter Lambert and Declan Brown, just ahead of him. And Cork, very much the overwhelming favourites, of course, to win this Bank of Ireland Munster football title for the first time since 1999. And Cork have selected on very much expected lines. It's a team with a very settled look about it. Here are the 15, chosen by Larry Tompkins and his team of selectors. We'll just pause for our own reveal. Big crowd here. Let's go through the rest of the Cork selection, see how they line out. Kieran O'Sullivan, a debutant in 1993. He marshals the full back line. Ronan McCarthy is playing some excellent football at centre half. It's Nicholas Murphy fit again, lining up in midfield alongside Micheál O'Sullivan. Alan Cronin continues in the number 12 spot. Martin, his brother, is alongside him. While up front, it's Philip Clifford, Colin Corkery and Fionn Murray. And the referee this afternoon is Jerry Kenevi. He's from Roscommon. A switch straight away in the Tipperary line-up. Fergal O'Callaghan has gone to left half forward. Liam England has gone to midfield. There's England there, number 12, lining up alongside Kevin Kilryan. So the 2002 Munster finals underway. Final number 113 in all. And Tipperary looking for a good start with Declan Brown selling dummies right, left and centre. How they could do it a decent start. Their miners had a wretched time in the opening 25 minutes of their match against Kerry and were 2-10-0 score down. Eamon Ryan is on the line this afternoon. And there's Diarmuid O'Sullivan, who could well be figuring on in both matches today. Think back, Jack Lynch did that on one occasion. Welwa Cup time, Des Foley did it also. Lots of bodies in midfield. This breaks away here towards Martin Cronin. This is Sean Cullen going away downfield. Again, they go for Brendan Cummins this time to try and kick the first point of the match, and he's just put it out and wide. It is Cork who won the toss, playing from right to left. They have the breeze behind them, such as it is. It's a freshening breeze, not particularly potent. Kevin O'Dwyer here, looking for a much steadier afternoon today. He'll have been disgusted with himself with that goal that he conceded in the replay against Kerry. Both these teams, of course, had to go to replays in their semi-final. Tip against Clare, Cork against Kerry. So no shortage of match practice for them. Ronan McCarthy hitting this one forward towards his captain, wearing the white boots this afternoon, is Colin Corkery. And the linesman awarding this one to Cork. Linesman today, Michael Ryan from Limerick, Eddie Whelan from Laois, far side. Bit of a ballooner there from Colin Corkery. Slips past Tipperary's Liam England. They get it back, however. Out as far as Damien O'Brien. Derry won an All-Ireland junior medal with Tipperary some years ago when he was only 17 years of age. Nicely inside to Fergal O'Callaghan. Switching into the half-forward line. Good ball ahead towards Peter Lambert. And that one's gone over the bar. Good start by Tipperary. Well, it's exactly the start they've required. It'll give them a little bit of confidence. They say about Lambert, he expects the ball to come to him nowadays, but he's got to go and make it happen himself.
Yes, sure, and Tipperary are playing all the races in the full forward line. They have Brendan Cummins, Peter Lambert and Declan Brown right in the full forward line. They'll try and play a simple game, direct ball into them as quick as possible.
That's too many steps taken there by Anthony Lynch. Paul Cahill here from Grange Mockler. He's the one change from the last day. Good ball inside. Brown, their leading scorer, and illustrating exactly why. Declan Brown puts it over the bar. Well, that's now 2 goals and 11 points in this year's championship for Declan Brown. Tipperary's first ever All-Star in football back in 1998. And of course made his debut against Kerry 6 years ago. Great player. This was the foul earlier on here. The overcarrying by Anthony Lynch took far too many steps, and that resulted in the opportunity for Tipperary, which they have managed to take. Interesting that we were expecting Larry Tompkins to be up in the stands today, but in fact he is down on the sideline. Or is he down on the sideline? He's not. We haven't seen him just yet. There he is. He had been barred from the sideline for a number of matches, but I think in recent times he's come to realise that you get a pretty good view, an overview of what's happening from an elevated position. Good run here by Damien O'Brien. Has support. Plenty of pressure as well from Kieran O'Sullivan. Sean Levis coming in to try and take it. Punted away there. Up as far as Micheál O'Sullivan. Ronan McCarthy bending his back. They're trying to take it from him. There was Liam England. Referee Jerry Kennedy saying to the Cork players, just bring it back a little bit. Tip making a very good start. And the referee is displeased that the free kick wasn't taken from the correct position, and he may well throw it up.
Yes, it's been an excellent start for Tipperary. They're really playing well around the middle of the field and getting good ball in. Now, one thing Cork wanted was a good start to try and put Tipperary away, but that hasn't happened. Nicholas
Murphy here, appreciating that they're in a tight situation, playing against Tipperary. Rank outsiders, haven't won this title since 1935, and Philip Clifford kicks it out over the sideline. It's going to be a Tipperary ball. To what extent, I wonder, is home advantage going to be an advantage for the Premier County?
Well, Cork are around for a while now. It shouldn't be that much of an advantage, but they seem to have good support here, and they're playing much the better football in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Fergal O'Callaghan, lovely turn here. Brown against Sexton. Crafty player. He's kicked it high, and it goes inside the left-hand post, and it's gone over the bar. Declan Brown has got a second. Early indications that he's going to cause problems for Owen Sexton, whom we've mentioned already is an excellent footballer, but you just wonder, would they consider switching Anthony Lynch across on him? Lynch is doing a marking job so far in this game on Peter Lambert. Missed there by Alan Cronin. Knocked back again by Kevin Mulryan. Ronan McCarthy towards Brendan Gerrard Sullivan. Good support play here from Nicholas Murphy, crossing the 45-metre line. Cork looking for their first point, and Murphy is the supplier of that. Nicholas Murphy from Carrigaline went to school there as well. Fionn Murray's dad, Donal, was the principal there. That's a great kick. Cork all of a sudden exploding into life. Well, so far in the 9 meetings between these counties, it has been, in finals that is, it's been Cork with 7 wins, Tip with 2. Nicholas Murphy gets it back again. Micheál O'Sullivan threaded outside towards Sean Levis. Martin Cronin. Tip looking a bit exposed inside. Brendan Ger O'Sullivan taking on Niall Fitzgerald, and he's kicked it to the left, and he's kicked it wide. First wide of the match for Cork. So 3 points to 1 in Tipperary's favour. This is the movement here again. And Sean Cullum is playing a very, very deep role. Not playing in full back at all, in fact. He's out at centre half back, and they have left Damien Byrne in at full back. Towards Sean Cullum. Interesting kick out that one, that time by Philly Ryan. Philly from the Clonmel Commercials Club. Started playing championship with Tip 11 years ago. Sean Maher. Lots of players available. Brendan Cummins here. What a busy weekend he's had. Excellent yesterday in that victory over Offaly. Brown once again. Still on Sexton. Declan Brown. So many counties would love to have this prodigious talent in their ranks. And that has been kicked wide by the midfielder there, Kevin Mulrine. Good week for him. Graduated from Temple Moorguard Training Centre. Now based in New Ross. Kevin O'Dwyer here playing in his 23rd championship match. Well, the crowds who were down in the town centre earlier on enjoying the many hostelries have made their way here now at this stage, and there's a very big crowd present. Good atmosphere. And Brown is unstoppable. Declan Brown from Moyle Rovers, one of the most famous clubs in Tipperary, gets his 3rd point. And Cork are going to have to do something fairly fast about changing the marking alignment.
Yes, I can't see them leaving it too longer now. Anthony Lynch is possibly the best marker that Cork have, man-for-man marking, and I'd say quite soon you might see Anthony Lynch going in there in the full back.
I think it's going to happen very soon, Tony, because I've seen Eamon Ryan going down along the line there. Anthony Lynch is looking at him. The switch hasn't happened just yet. That's broken down there by Fergal O'Callaghan. Great start by Tipperary. Back to Lambert. Everything is going right. Lambert's 2nd point. All 5 of the Tipperary scores. Nino Huna coming from the deadly duo, Brown and Lambert. Like a firm of accountants, they're notching up the scores. Graham Canty is the one who is being brought back to mark Declan Brown.
Yeah, Graham is a very good footballer, can play anywhere. Had played under 21 in the under 21 championship last year with Cork.
Sexton's come out to left half back, and he is marking Paul Cahill, who's now actually switched back into the right half forward position. Just a bit confusing. Ronan McCarthy getting away from Mo Ryan this time. Into space towards Fionn Murray. Has a lovely dash of pace about him. This time, however, can't outfox Benny Hahasy. And the referee, I think, is going to throw the ball up. Roscommon referee in charge of this Munster final. Cross-fertilisation, as it were. And there was a push.
Tipperary playing all the football so far, Joe. They're very, very on the ball, very fast, letting the ball off very quickly into that full forward line. And Declan Brown is being isolated inside the 21-yard line with nobody around him. And it's very hard now, no matter who's marking him, to stop the ball going. It has to be stopped at midfield.
It's always difficult for a team coming in as hot favourites, everybody telling you that you're bound to win it. Here they come again, and it's Damien O'Brien this time. O'Brien. Kieran O'Sullivan's after him. Too many steps taken, and it was a real scoring chance. He should have hit it. Out to Ronan McCarthy. Levis just ahead of him. Sean Levis from Durris in West Cork. Lovely interception there, taken by Sean Marr, just as Alan Cronin was trying to feed it forward. Brendan Cummins once again, showing us what he can do as a footballer. We know what a great hurling goalkeeper he is. Threading it off to Paul Cahill. Again, it's fed inside there towards Declan Brown. Against Canty this time, and he has kicked it wide of the target. 4 wides now for Tipperary, but they've had much the better start in this game, 5 points to 1. Let's look at the interception here just moments ago by Sean Marr. Reached up for it, took it well, and confidently dispatched of it.
Colin Corker is starved of possession inside at full forward. All those balls should be directly in at Colin. He can beat no matter who's marking him, and that ball should be in directly.
Let's see who can win this at midfield. It's Tipperary once again, virtually unchallenged. They take it down. It was Fergal O'Callaghan who won it. Now Peter Lambert. Back to Sean Marr. That's a very difficult ball for any player to take, and Damien O'Brien was well beaten to it by Sean Levis. Owen Sexton used to be centre-half back, of course, for Cork. They had to make the early switch because he was being outplayed by Declan Brown. Anthony Lynch from Naomh-Eabon and Ballavourna is the man who has fouled. Peter Lambert is on the ground. Had a spell, of course, with Nemo Rangers, won club titles there, so he'll be well known and knows all these fellas terribly well. Lambert gets a ticking for that foul. Came down rather awkwardly. Well, Peter Lambert would have played alongside the likes of Colin Corkery and Joe Kavanagh, of course, as well, Martin Cronin. They'll know him and he'll know them particularly well as well. And there's Tom McGlinchey there, who is from Clyde Rovers, North Cork. A Cork fan, 29 years of age, one of the youngest, if not the youngest, senior manager in inter-county football. PE instructor at the Garda College in Templemore. This is a good run forward here by Alan Cronin, but he can't finish it off, and Sean Cullum mops it up out to Sean Marr. Fed away again once more by Liam England. Back to Liam England from Lambert on this occasion. Intended there for Brendan Cummins, and they just get in one another's way. Cummins forces his way in, but he fouls Ronan McCarthy, and it's going to be a free kick, and there's a ticking for Brendan Cummins, number 11, noted by the referee from Roscommon, who is Jerry Knievy. This was the interception a little while ago there, but really it was a pretty poor pass by Alan Cronin. Brendan Gerard Sullivan. Cork need to get something going from midfield into their half-forward line, and then need to feed their very effective forwards, but they need to get decent possession. That's Fionn Murray, and that's swinging away, and Philly Ryan says let's not bother even attempting to get it, and the fans are saying my goodness me. And there's Jim Forbes, well, he's the vice chairman now of the Cork County Board. He used to be PRO. Larry Tompkins there just behind Jim.
That's Timmy O'Callaghan, Clyde Rovers, actually a club mate of Tom McGlinchey's. They played together up there in Clyde Rovers. Tom was a very good footballer, actually tried hard to get on the Cork senior team about 4 years ago, and wasn't too far off it, actually.
Very nearly made it. Once again, it's belted ahead by Sean Marr. Lambert trying to break it down. Kieran O'Sullivan coming into it here. Brendan Cummins chases after him. Nicely outside towards Martin Cronin. Ahead towards Philip Clifford. Haven't seen much of Philip, but then again, the ball hasn't been coming into him. Martin Cronin once more. This time towards Colin Corkery, for once getting inside Damien Byrne, his marker this afternoon. The Tipperary captain as well. And Colin Corkery, with decent possession, kicks it over. His first point of the match. The Nemo Rangers man summoning the rest of the players now to deliver the ball in decently, give him the opportunities, and with those sparkling white boots he's sporting today, you never know what might happen.
That's exactly what Cork want. They want that ball in. It even needn't be a decent ball. He's a height advantage over his man. He's about a foot and a half taller than, so any ball whatsoever into him and he'll do the business.
He was honoured, of course, earlier this week as the Cork GAA Sports Personality of the Month for June. Fionn Murray got the award for May. And Cork have it again. Brendan Ger O'Sullivan here, thundering through. Everybody after him. It's Brendan Ger O'Sullivan into a scoring opportunity, right into the small rectangle, and he's kicked it in and he's scored. 16 and a half minutes gone, first half. Nobody could stop him. The teams are level, first time in the match. All came about through this wonderful solo effort here from Brendan Ger O'Sullivan. They came out this way, they came in that way, and he squeezed it past Philly Ryan.
It's a terrific goal by Brendan Ger. In fact, he should have laid the ball off earlier. And you can see the Tipperary backs actually watching Colin Corky as he backs off from the play, creating the space. And he took it very well in the end.
Well, I can't remember a championship goal scored by Brendan Ger in the past, but that's one that has come here in the Bank of Ireland. 2002 Munster football final. Cork come with Micheál O'Sullivan looking to kick them into the lead, and that has squeezed away towards the right-hand side, and it's gone wide. 3 wides for Cork now at this stage. This is a very crucial period in the match, I feel, now for Tipperary. Will their confidence be blown away by that goal? Here he comes. He should have been stopped. Somebody should have shouldered him. We saw Damien Byrne trying to put in a challenge, but really nobody put in a decent side-to-side charge. Philly Ryan plants it into the middle of the field. Anglin can't take it. Instead it's taken by Alan Cronin towards Fionn Murray. All of a sudden the possession is going Cork's way. Great start by Tip, but now Martin Cronin very nearly got a second goal there, but Niall Kelly just stretched out the right hand. It was a stinging save on his part, because it really did hurt. You could see him feeling his hand afterwards.
This is a crucial stage in the game now for Ger, because they'll have to batten down the hatches for the next 5 or 10 minutes, slow the game down as much as possible, because this is what Cork wanted. They want to try and take away the confidence that Tipperary have. Everyone knows they can play football, but when you play teams like Tip, if they have that self-belief, it's very hard to take it away from them, and it's a crucial period now for the next 10 minutes.
So nearly 19 minutes gone in this first half. Colin Corkery. And Colin has kicked it out to the right and wide. Just 1 point for Colin so far. That came from play. Well, he was out of the game for about 2 seasons, but has come back in the last couple of years now to really telling effect. So now it's incumbent on Tipperary to get that ball beyond midfield and set up some decent chances as they were doing earlier on. The #1 target inevitably is going to be Declan Brown. That time it was Brendan Cummins beaten for it. And is marking him this afternoon is Ciarán O'Sullivan from Urran in Beara. Lynch against Lambert waiting inside. Belted in by Liam England. Problems, but dealt with very capably by the Cork defence, and Ronan McCarthy taking it back once again from Micheál O'Sullivan. Great movement by Ronan McCarthy. Towards Fionn Murray, sold a good little dummy that time to Benny Hallisey. Benny gets back goal side, but inside goes Murray. This is a great chance. Might be another goal here. He's happy to tap it over the bar. Clever play by Fionn Murray. Just his first point, but Cork are in the lead by 1-3 to 5 points. And Tipperary have gone out of it.
That's typical Fionn Murray. He threw a dummy before the ball came, put his man offside and just chipped it over the goalkeeper. Very subtle in his football skills, a very good soccer player as well, and well able to take a goal.
Remember the bicycle goal he scored
against Waterford, yeah.
Against Waterford, yeah. This is aimed towards Fergal O'Callaghan, and nobody able to make any use of that possession, so it's going to be a sideline ball to Cork. Larry will be happier. Very meticulous in his planning. Larry's been looking at videos of Tipperary in the last week or so. There's everything there is to know about them, I'm sure. Ronan McCarthy. That should have been a score. Hit it with the outside of the boot. That's a bad ball by Philly Ryan, and he could be in trouble here. Brendan Gerrard Sullivan. Players calling for it. Philip Clifford looking for it. They go right back to the 45-metre line. Alan Cronin inside towards Fionn Murray. Fed ahead to Clifford. There's a goal here. He takes a point instead. So everyone of the full forward line now for Cork has scored from play. And you know, in those last two attacks, the Murray attack and Clifford here, they could have had goals. This was a great chance.
It was a great chance, Joe, but I think he made the right decision. He wasn't sure himself. Now, Philip is a real poacher, and if there was a chance there, he'd have buried it. Took the safe option and took his point.
Of course, it came from a mistake by Philly Ryan. It was a very poor clearance out from the goalkeeper. Tipperary in real danger, and Clifford knocks it over the bar. This, of course, Tipperary's fourth Munster final in the last decade. First one for Tom McGlinchey to be in charge of. In the past, I suppose, the name synonymous with Tipperary football teams was Seamus McCarthy, who spent a good deal of time in Cork on business in recent years. Kick out just gets as far as Kevin Mulryan, pulled by Martin Cronin, allowed to continue. Sean Cullum, Alan Cronin's after him. A real hit and hope one inside there, and Tipperary have it, and there's an opportunity maybe here. And oh, what a save! Declan Brown again, stopped by Kevin O'Dwyer. But Brown is such a poacher. Left isolated in front of goal, he's likely to cause problems for Graham Canty and anybody else who has the onerous task of marking him this afternoon.
Yes, he's pure class, Joe. That was played perfectly by Graham Canty. He played him from the front, broke the ball down, and he used his strength, like his Brown strength around his upper body. He's very strong, well able to push a fella off.
So the man who normally takes the 45s is Liam England, playing in midfield this afternoon, wearing number 12, and he has kicked it truly, and he's put it over the bar. So Tipperary with another point. 4 to 6 points, they trail by 1. Well, when you talk about Brown, who's now playing full forward, he's drifted in, and they have Liam England now moving up to left corner forward and Lambert to right corner forward. It's an awful shame that representative football like the Railway Cup that we see just around St. Patrick's Day and before that, when we get an opportunity to see the likes of Colin Corkery and Declan Brown and Peter Lambert involved, that it's not as well supported as it used to be. Colin Corkery. A real hit and hope one inside towards Fionn Murray. Neat little turn. Comes off the post, comes back and goes out. And Benny Hassey is having his problems with Murray. Again, they looked casual, lazy and easy in their build-up, relaxed as well. Might have been a score, wasn't. And there's the reaction of Fionn Murray. Well, just looking through the Cork scores so far, Brendan Gerrard with the goal after 16.5 minutes, and then points for Clifford, Corkery and Murray. And of course Nicholas Murphy, the midfielder, also chipping in with one, punching that one down there, but only as far as Fergal O'Callaghan. Good control, taken on by Damien O'Brien. And this time Declan Brown has a little bit of difficulty with it. Canty gets it away. Backheeling it there and just about keeping it in play. Kieran O'Sullivan. Alan Cronin taking it in his stride there against Niall Fitzgerald. Well, what will he do with it? Oh, he's played it inside towards Philip Clifford, but it wasn't the easiest of balls to take. Just ran away from Philip. And in the end, away by Niall Kelly. Good clearance. Picking out a colleague. Brendan Cummins. Good solo run. Rhoda McCarthy chasing after him. Sean Levis trying to close in as well. Cummins going for the point. And it's gone wide. The cheers you hear are from behind the goal at the town end. And that's where you can find thousands upon thousands of Cork fans. Here for a double bill, of course, but this was Cummins.
It can't have been too far outside the post there, but just good defending there by Ronan. He didn't foul him, just put his hand on him, trying to put it off when he tried to kick the ball.
Micheál O'Sullivan rising up for it with Fergal O'Callaghan. And that is Kevin Mulryan. Mulryan fouled. So a free from about 45 metres out from goal. Knocked to the ground unceremoniously. Peter Lambert to kick this in. That's the 45-metre line. Sun in the eyes of the Cork backs at this stage. Doing enough, just getting a little touch on it. Micheál O'Sullivan getting it out here to Anthony Lynch. Oof. Intercepted by Peter Lambert. Knocked through well towards Brendan Cummins. Missed one just a little while ago. Might have kicked one there. Leaving it off instead towards Damien O'Brien. They need a shot at the end of all of this. And that really is an awful waste of possession. Short kick out taken to Levis. Martin Cronin. One time left half back, now playing on the 40. Tom McGlinchey there, the manager of this Tipperary team. They had a great start, but the goal rocked them. They lost a little bit of confidence and self-belief at that stage.
Yes, and Graham Canty's doing quite well at full-back. Declan Brown is going to get chances. Players like him always have chances, but he limit the chances that he have.
Canty's a very, very good player. I know you had him at the under-21 stage, but we've seen him in the last game come in and play midfield, plays half-back, now playing full-back. Fionn Murray, ever the threat, up in the corner. Against Benny Hallisey, he kicks it over the bar. And there's nothing that Benny Hallisey can do about it. And Fionn Murray has got a second point, and it's won 5 to 6 points, 8 points to 6. So Cork stretching their lead here. And not quite 29 minutes gone. Liam England has been ticked by the referee, by the way. Something that happened just a little while ago. Eamon Ryan here, remembered as a Cork coach back in 1983. That was the time when Cork broke Kerry's stranglehold on championship football in Munster. That late Tig Murphy goal, brother of Bertie Ogue, of course, who will be managing the Cork hurling team. Match after this year. Highlights coming up in the Sunday game tonight. That against Galway. Sean Cullum. Easy one for Anthony Lynch to come and claim. Alan Cronin. Cahill was trying to come in and put in a despairing challenge. And Byrne is having his problems when decent ball go in towards Colin Cork, where he hasn't got the physique really to match this man. And the referee once again noting a number. It's the number 4 there, Damien Byrne, the Tipperary captain. Not really attempting to play Colin Cork, unable to do so. And there's a foul right outside the 13-metre line. Philip Clifford going through. Again, the referee is unhappy with that, and Niall Fitzgerald is recording, or his name has been recorded by the referee. Didn't see a card, it's just a ticking. This is where Clifford got away, and quite honestly it should have been a card.
He made no attempt whatsoever to play the ball. Philip Clifford and Fionn Murray, they're actually very bright today inside in the full forward line, showing off their men very well, and Colin Corkery just left the ball off at the right time for them. One-on-one, they're very, very hard to mark.
And I think Tipperary are about to make a change as we watch Colin Corkery kick this one effortlessly over the bar. It's his second point. One from play now, one from freeze. And Cork lead by that goal by Brendan Ger O'Sullivan. And they're coming into the game very shortly will be Willie Morrissey from Feather, the county champions. He was dropped for this game. He was the Tipperary team captain. And I think there's a need for urgent change. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Not into the match just yet. Alan Cronin, ex-Colosh Grease player. Bad pass there from Micheál O'Sullivan. Seized on by Fergal O'Callaghan. One back here by Niall Fitzgerald towards Lambert. And they hold on well here. Liam England now up around the forwards. Back to Fergal O'Callaghan. Kicking for the point. Still in play. Graham Canty got a touch in it. It's a 45. Tipperary needing everything they can possibly get. Well, Liam England has already converted 145 in the game for Tipperary. So I'm sure he'll be entrusted with the task once again. That's Canty's hand reaching up.
Safety first for Graham. I just felt that he just wanted the ball out of play. He didn't want it near Declan Brown in there.
Well, lots and lots of presidents of the GAA all involved there. Seamus O'Ryan, of course, Joe and Con Murphy as well, Joe McDonough. And that's gone wide. The miss by Liam England. And that's 7 wides in all now for Tipperary in this first half. England from the Inam Rovers club. That is debut against Clare, England. And that club is located up around Ross Cray. The Nemo Rangers man, Alan Cronin, with 2 minutes extra time to be played. Brendan Gerald Sullivan, the goal scorer, steaming through once again. And what's happened here? It's a goal. Philly Ryan deceived, and Brendan Gerald Sullivan in the 32nd minute has got another goal. Oh, this should have been easily stopped, but wasn't. A horrible error by Philly Ryan. He should have been able to cover his near post, and you can't give Cork chances like that and expect to get back into this match. But they've got to try and do something. Kevin Mulryan. Brendan Cummins. Well, that is a terrible lapse. They depend on Brown once again. He's the one man. It's his 4th point. Lambert's got 2. But they need others to contribute. We've had 145 from Liam England, but watch this again here. I'm sure he was probably going for a point, but it dropped inside that left-hand corner, but it should have been stopped.
Yeah, it should have been stopped. Very unfortunate on Philly Ryan. Brendan certainly was going for a point, I'd say, but there was always a promise of a goal in that full forward line. But that was an error on behalf of Tipperary, and they will not be happy with that.
So we're in the 34th minute of this match. 2 more added minutes to be played after the 35. So let's say about 3 minutes to go. Declan Brown, again selling dummies to Graham Canty, but unable to put this one on target. The confidence will begin to ooze out of this team unless they can start to get a couple of scores very fast.
Yes, but they've done very well so far. Okay, there was a period in the game there after the first 15 minutes when Cork got the goal, they went out of the game, but they're still in there. Declan Brown is still in full forward, and he just needs a limited supply of ball early, and he'll take his score. He's a terrific footballer, and all they have to do is kind of support him in around the full forward line.
Mention of scores, well, let's talk about scoring chances. Not much between them. Tipperary have actually had 1 more scoring chance than Cork, 16 to 15. Cork have those 2 goals. Liam O'Callaghan, Fergal O'Callaghan rather. A real hit and Holy Mary kind of a kick. Ronan McCarthy. Brendan Gerald Sullivan now on for the hat-trick. Belted into that space in the corner. Alan Cronin, a very willing worker, out there against Niall Fitzgerald. Spilling down there from Benny Hassey. Philip Clifford trying to pick it up, waiting for support, and the referee says, hang on a while. Ball was picked up off the ground, and that is going to be a free out for Tipperary. Well, in fact, the referee has decided to throw the ball in. I think there was a pick-up as well, but there was also a boot going in, just as the Cork player was attempting to pick it up. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Referee's in charge. Micheál O'Sullivan. Benny Hassey picking it up. Tip taking it clear here through Fergal O'Callaghan. Kevin Mulryan punting it well away down towards Declan Brown, causing problems for everybody. One of the best around. That's another beauty by Declan Brown. The goals may have come for Cork from Brendan Gerald Sullivan, but the points and the star of the show so far, Declan Brown, 5 points from 9 kicks at the target.
That's an incredible score. Fantastic score, and he can score from any angle. Doesn't matter who's marking. If he gets early ball, he's going to get the scores.
It's a simple tactic. They got to do it. They need others to chip in as well. Brendan Cummins, who had a spell at full forward, he's now at centre half forward as the referee blows his whistle. Didn't quite get the 2 extra minutes, but it's at the referee's discretion. We got most of the 2 minutes. Those 2 goals, absolutely critical for Brendan Gerald Sullivan after 16.5 minutes and after 32. Declan Brown.
Michael, not a great start, but you must be reasonably happy now at this stage.
Happy enough now. We were lucky to get the 2 soft goals, otherwise we'd be in right trouble. There's no soft things in Munster now, whatever they want to say.
Do you see any changes at half-time, Michael?
Well, we'll be considering changes, definitely, yes. We'll have to up our performance to beat this team.
Were you surprised at the performance of Tipperary in the early minutes?
I know, so we know they have 3 great forwards. Cummins, Brown and Lambert. That is good. They get on any team in Ireland.
OK, we'll let you go for the moment, Michael. Thank you. Seamus McCarthy, former Tipperary manager. It was looking well for a while, but it seems to have faded away for the moment anyway.
Well, I'm not so sure it's faded away. I think we got off to a fantastic start and we played with great belief and composure, and certainly our inside forward line were troubling Cork big time. So I think the 2 goals have been hammer blows and they've come at crucial times for us, but I think we've just recovered. Declan has kicked another great point, his 5th point, and hopefully we'll get in a little bit more ball in the second half.
Seamus, we have to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks indeed to
Good football. Let's see what happens. It's Ger and Tony again.
just 4 points between them, as you say, Michael, and the midfielders are as they were selected on the programme. Nicholas Murphy, Micheál O'Sullivan on the left there for Cork, Kevin Mulryan and Fergal O'Callaghan. Fergal, who started in the half-forward line, has now gone back into midfield. Brendan Cummins is out on the 40, been marked by Ronan McCarthy. The various officials checking their watches. I'm watching Tom McGlinchey down here in front of me, the Tipperary manager. Very young man, highly respected, and the second half gets underway here. It's 46 years, indeed a little more, 63 I think it is, since Tipperary were Munster champions. Can they do it today? But they were rocked by those 2 goals in the first half by Brendan Gerald Sullivan. What a catch! Colin Corkery looking to score it himself. That is an amazing point. Sums the man up. A 3rd point of the match, and it's 2-7 to 8 points. It's the start that Tipperary were looking for, but what a catch this is here by Corkery. Others might have dished it off. He's having the beating of Damien Byrne, and that is an absolutely wonderful score.
And it's definitely a reflection of the team talk at half-time. I'm sure Larry said to them, get the ball as quickly as possible into Colin inside, low or high, and he'll get the scores.
It's exactly the same message, I'm sure, from Tom McGlinchey for his Tipperary team to get it down to Declan Brown. Remember, 5 points from Declan from play in the first half. 2 great scorers in chief, Colin Corkery and Declan Brown. Philly Ryan took over from Ger Enright in the Tipperary goal many years ago. It's a fine catch by Fergal O'Callaghan. Fed ahead here. Cummins feeding it forward, inside towards Liam England. Losing his way, however, Kieran O'Sullivan coming across, snatching it from him. A very assured player, Kieran O'Sullivan. Dropped down by Niall Fitzgerald. Sean Cullen was coming up after it. Tipperary can build. Brendan Cummins trying to sell dummies there, but Alan Cronin is not easy to shake off. Kevin Mulryan. They need a score or 2, and that is not the way they're going to get it. Well, it's going to be rather a shame if the midfielders now just start to kick this ball away hopelessly right and left of the target, because they have the most wonderful target man inside there. They've got Brown, they've got Lambert, and of course as well up there Liam England, left corner forward at this stage. Kieran O'Sullivan is marking him. Canty's at full back against Brown. Again, Tipperary win it, but then lose it through Damien O'Brien. Owen Sexton. Nice casual and measured approach from Cork out of their defence. Anthony Lynch. Intended for Colin Corkery, but it's the team captain Damien Byrne who gets it away as far as Sean Marr. The turn of Tipperary to build. Damien O'Brien from Éire Óg Anacarty, Pat Fox's club. Good shoulder there coming in from Kieran O'Sullivan. Possession then for Tipperary and Liam England. Brown trying to do something with it. In the end, unable to get it under control, and it's going to be a line ball for Cork. How he could do with a bit more resistance. Sean Maher. Damien O'Brien. Fed across to the flying Kevin Mulryan. Nicholas Murphy comes after and drags him down 20 metres out from goal. Free to Tipperary, and this should be a point here. Just a little hand reaching in there. Nicholas Murphy is ticked for that. Both players colliding. There's Tom McGlinchey just having a little word there with his fellow selectors, Michael Fitzgerald and Jerry Cahill. Declan Brown to kick this, 20 metres out from goal. And that is his 6th point of the match. First to come from place ball. So 2-7 to 9 points. Still that little gap there, which Tipperary are trying to close in on. 4 points between them. The Tip fans trying to get behind their team. Mick O'Loughlin there and Larry Tompkins. Mick, who played in the 1967 All-Ireland final against Meath, alongside Mick Burke. Beaten that day by Red Collier and his men. Nice dispossession by Brendan Cummins. Punted ahead there by Fergal O'Callaghan. They wait for support. Liam Cahill is coming in here. Paul Cahill, I should say. Liam the hurler, Paul the footballer. And Paul kicks it, and kicks it well. Young man from Grange Butler. 2-7 to 10 points. Only 3 between them in this Bank of Ireland Munster final. This is where Brendan Cummins won it back there. Cork a little ponderous. Owen Sexton under pressure. As far as Alan Cronin. Kicking it ahead there, hopefully. Not really getting it under any kind of control. Damien Byrne, the team captain. Outside to Niall Fitzgerald from the Moyle Rovers Club, one of the most famous clubs up here in County Tipperary, kind of like the Nemo Rangers, I suppose, in a way, of Tip. Brendan Jerry O'Sullivan, very deep. Ronan McCarthy. Towards Fionnán Murray, bounces away off his hands. Benny Hassey in some trouble, runs loose there to Philip Clifford. Clifford on the angled shot, has put it wide. 1 point so far in the match for Philip Clifford. And Cork are about to make a change. And about to come into the game will be Joe Kavanagh. Just wonder who he will replace. Not quite sure just yet. It's going to be Micheál O'Sullivan, I think, which will mean a restructuring, because Micheál's in midfield. Ordinarily, Joe would play either in the corner or in the half line. Dr. Con Murphy is there attending to Fionnán Murray. 2 substitutions about to be made, in fact. Tipperary are also about to make a change. Benny Hickey from Care is coming in, number 24. And Liam England, is he the one who's about to go? That is the case. So there's Joe Kavanagh.
Yeah, Graham Canty's actually going out midfielder. Anthony Lynch has gone in full-back marking Declan Brown, and Graham Canty has gone midfield.
3 different markers then on Declan Brown this afternoon. That's just an indication of the trouble he is causing.
I feel the best man marker Cork have is now marking Declan Brown.
That's Sean Cullum just getting it away from Joe Kavanagh, but Kavanagh trying to get it back here, does so from Alan Cronin, looking for his first shot on the target, but it's not on the target. No trouble this time to Philly Ryan. Joe, who made his debut in the championship against Kerry back in 1992. Very young player at that stage, of course, and kicked 5 points, all of them from frees. That was the famous day that Cork had 2 wides in the second half against Kerry, lost the match. The 2 wides, guess what they were? 2 penalties. Niall Kelly getting it away. Out as far as Brendan Cummins. Cummins trying to go through two players, nobody able to stop him. That is the fresh man in there, Benny Hickey. Played ahead by Damien O'Brien. Once again, it's Declan Brown, this time against his new marker. And this time it's a very poor effort. And he more or less gives it to Anthony Lynch, ball picked off the ground. Anthony Lynch, the new man in to look after the threat posed by Declan Brown. This is what happened again. The referee said you didn't have your boot under the ball, and it's a pick-up off the ground. Free into Tipperary. They'll take anything. 3 between them. Declan Brown now to cut it down to 2. Not even 9 minutes yet gone in the second half. Catches it well. 2 frees in a row now for Declan Brown to go with the 5 points from play. And listen to the Tipperary fans. They're looking for a big double this weekend, having thrashed Offaly and hurling last night in Portlaoise. Can they now claim the scalp of Cork, hanging on to a narrow lead by virtue of a couple of very fortunate goals? Sean Cullum, Damien O'Brien. Inside this time to Lambert. Peter Lambert needs to express himself a bit more. Decent chance inside here towards Declan Brown. Did he give a push? It's stopped on the line in any case, and it's belted in, and it's the substitute, Benny Hickey, who scored 9.5 minutes into the second half. This was kicked in here by Peter Lambert. Brown was going for it. Tussling. Stopped by the goalkeeper Kevin O'Dwyer. Hit in the end by Benny Hickey, the substitute. His first touch virtually. Cork will feel perhaps there was a foul on Anthony Lynch. The referee says play on. They did. And Tipperary have now made it 1-11 to 2-7. So Tipperary go back in front again. It's a huge recovery on their part. Now the question's been asked of Cork. Joe Kavanagh going low against Sean Cullum. Colin Corkery runs away this time, and Niall Kelly dispossessing his man, who is Philip Clifford. Peter Lambert dishing it off towards Paul Cahill. Cahill soloing forward. Martin Cronin goes back after him, and Martin Cronin pushes him in the back, and it's a free into Tipperary.
That's terrific play by Tip all through the field. I didn't think that was a foul, actually. I think Brendan Cummins, he used his strength to hold off the man. A good save by Kevin Dwyer, but very good finishing up, and what a goal in the end of the day.
Are we in for a huge surprise? Martin Cronin has been ticked by the referee. One more indiscretion like that, and it's a yellow card. Haven't seen any yellow cards dished out so far this afternoon. Peter Lambert kicking. And he's kicked it accurately, and he's put it over the bar for his 3rd point. They started the game really impressively, went into a good lead. That's 3 kicks at the target now by Peter Lambert, and 3 points. And Tipperary lead by 114. That's 17 points to 2-7. Let's get a correct score here. It actually is 15 points to 13, 2 between them. 112 to 2-7. Good spell for Tip. Again, they try to isolate Brown inside. Lynch is after him. It comes back again, however. And this time Brown commits the foul. And it's going to be a free out for Cork. It was Nicholas Murphy who was going back to help out his beleaguered colleague.
And he needs every hand he can get in there, because Declan Brown is just some footballer. No matter who's marking him today, give him the ball and he'll get your scores.
And Cork are about to bring in the double man. The man who's going to play on the hurling after this against Galway. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. They said they would only play him maybe in the last 10 minutes if they had to. Now they feel they have to. There's a little crisis on here. Brown a little off balance this time. Fisted back, in fact, by Owen Sexton to his goalkeeper, Kevin O'Dwyer. Cool as you like. Alan Cronin taking it back here to his brother Martin. Good run forward here. That's Graham Canty now at midfield. Nice play, taken away with great assurance by the man in the corner, Niall Kelly. Benny Hassey, I should say. Oof, they almost lost it that time. Damien O'Brien. This would be a huge surprise, the surprise of the year. The biggest surprise since Clare beat Kerry 10 years ago exactly. Cork are being led, but there's still a fair way to go. Alan Cronin, bad kick, lack of assurance, lack of composure, and a certain lack of confidence as well. Tip. The no-hopers, but they've given away a terrible ball there. Cork guilty as well. Levis gifting it to Damien O'Brien. Looking steady and assured into the corner to the man who's been causing all of the problems. Declan Brown. Up into the air, he needs a bit of support. He was pushed, and it's going to be a free from where the ball lands. And it's in a very scoreable position from a Tipperary point of view. That's where the referee said there was a push by Anthony Lynch. And right now the Cork fans are trying to get behind their team, because they realise they're in a very tight situation. Playing against the rank outsiders. Kevin O'Dwyer trying to settle down his defenders. Declan Brown. 7 points so far. The last 3 have come from frees. And he has got another one. Alan Cronin is about to make way. That last pass wasn't terribly convincing, but he's a young player and a player for the future. Hasn't seen the notice board just yet, but this is the man who's about to come in. A man with a very busy afternoon to play in both major championship matches. Diarmuid O'Sullivan from Cloyne. He played full back with the hurlers against Galway. But right now he's needed in that Cork forward line. His 3rd championship match, and Cork are also about to make another change. And I've noticed Maurice McCarthy from Nemo Rangers is also being called in, number 25. And when Cork start to do this, with about 16 minutes or so gone in the second half, and still another quarter of the game to go, you realise they are rattled. Nicholas Murphy jumping in there with Mulryan, and Mulryan has it. That goal by Benny Hickey has done so much for Tipperary's sense of belief in themselves, and Larry Tompkins realises his team are in some trouble.
Yes, he might as well play all his cards now, because you're not going to get a second chance. And Tipperary are playing all the football. They're dominating totally around midfield and getting good supply of ball. You know, this will be a real test for the Cork team now. See, can they lift it, can they dig deep, and can they still play with their head?
Maurice McCarthy comes into midfield. Nicholas Murphy is gone. What all of that means is Cork have now replaced the 2 midfielders they started out with. And we were asking the question earlier on at the beginning of the programme, how good were the Cork midfield? Was that the weakness? This is a good ball in. Brendan Ger O'Sullivan kicks one high and over. But just wait a while. Even though the umpire has waved the white flag, the referee has gone across to the far side of the field to speak to a linesman. Now, I don't know exactly what is going on here. Was it a point? Was it not? And I think that, has the referee cancelled it?
Yeah, it looks like he's cancelled it. The sideline guy told him that was wide.
Interesting. So the point does not count, and that should mean a kick out to Tipperary. Or does it? Or is it a line ball on the far side? They're bringing it across to the sideline. It's going to be a throw ball, because the linesman apparently didn't know who touched it last, out over the line. So whether or not Brendan Ger kicked it accurately, it was what happened immediately before that that counted. Here comes Brendan Cummins. Tipper on fire. Didn't win his Munster medal in hurling, where he would have expected. Can he do it in football? Damien O'Brien selling dummies. He's running into a whole group of Cork players who are performing with determination but are still being led. Sean Levis. This looks like a promising opportunity for Cork to score. Colin Corkery kicking, and he has put this one wide. Well, the scoreboard up behind us here has been moving around quite a bit. 2-7 for Cork, which is 13 points. Tipperary 1-13, 16 points. So 3 between them. Well, Cork had 2-6 at half-time, just 1 point in the second half so far. Not very convincing. Joe Kavanagh for his clubmate at Nemo Rangers, Colin Corkery. That might steady the nerves, it does, and it drops down over the bar, and there are now 2 between them. It's a good quality match.
There's some fantastic scores. That's Colin's second point in the second half. That's what Cork want. Good ball into Colin in space, and he'll get those scores. But Tipperary are playing excellent football. They certainly haven't laid down. They haven't read the script, haven't read the newspapers, and they've answered all their critics here today by some very good football.
The subs grouping together there in the stand. That's part of the new arrangement, no longer in the dugout. Low kick out there once again, and Tipperary anticipate better than Cork. Sean Maher getting it ahead, but there's a push, and it's going to be a free to Cork. Brendan Gerald Sullivan wanting to take it. And now Colin Corker is saying, hang on a while, there's plenty of time left. 20 minutes gone in the second half, 15 minutes to play. Bad ball. Will give away that time. David O'Sullivan yet to attune to the pace of this match. It's all very well to say what he said during the week, that this would be a nice handy warmer-upper for the hurling later on. But Cork are in a real battle situation here. Brown's kick going really nowhere. Levis should have it handily, has so. Out as far as Owen Sexton. Rhoda McCarthy coming through from centre half back. Joe Kavanagh towards another man who'll kick with the left if he can get the chance. That is Philip Clifford. He felt he was pushed out over the line. Angry with the decision, but the decision goes Tipperary's way. Niall Kelly was the man who was breathing down his neck, pushed him to ground. Tip get away with it anyway. Sean Maher trying to outfox Philip Clifford, and the trip here is on Damien O'Brien. Brendan Gerald Sullivan, referee, notes his number. It's quite hot this afternoon here in Semple Stadium, thanks to a bit of goodness. So players taking every possible opportunity to take on board as much water and fluid as possible. Fionn Murray has gone very deep. The forward line for Cork right now effectively is Colin Corkery, Fionn Murray, or rather not Fionn Murray, it's Diarmuid O'Sullivan and Philip Clifford. Fionn has come much deeper, out around the half-forward line. Benny Hassey. 1935, the last time that Tipperary won a Munster senior football title. Lynch. Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Big strong man, but he's put that one straight at Benny Hassey.
That's one aspect of Cork's game today that's quite disappointing. They're giving away possession too easily.
Fergal O'Callaghan. Here's the goal scorer, Benny Hickey. Inside towards Brendan Cummins, taking on Sean Levis. Cummins who had a spell out of football because of a long-term injury. O'Callaghan kicking it across the face of goal, but there's nobody there for it except Kevin O'Dwyer. Wasted possession, really. Fatigue is bound to be a factor in the remaining minutes of this match. Sean Cullum fired up for the challenge at this stage. Eamon Ryan saying it was picked off the ground. He's the coach on the sideline today, now feeling that Colm held on far too long. Challenged by Fionnán Murray. Cork want the ball back, they want the free. Referee going in to try and settle it down, but he's got a couple of angry players inside there to argue with. One of them is Joe Kavanagh. This is what happened just moments ago there, and you can see Eamon Ryan there protesting to the referee vigorously. Sean Cullen gets his number taken. Still no yellow cards by referee Jerry Kenevi from Roscommon.
What frustrates players, Jerry, is that there is space inside one-on-one, and the attacking team is punished by slowing down the game and booking a player.
In points, it's 16-14. Tipperary leading. Now there's just one in it. Colin Corkery with his 5th. The team captain, 113-29. Now who's got that steely resolve to take themselves past the winning post after 70 minutes play? Cork, the overwhelming favourites. Tipperary, regarded as no-hopers. But as Mick O'Loughlin, one of the selectors, was saying in the half-time interview, there are no soft touches in Munster football anymore. Beautifully caught. Good commanding play in there by Maurice McCarthy. Benny Hassey trying to take it away. They tried to stop him. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, built like a tank. 2 players from Cork almost getting in one another's way, almost losing it. Fionnán Murray has it, looking to try and level the game. That's going right. And Philly Ryan quite sensibly lets it out of play. Nearly 25 minutes gone. 10 to play. This was a great catch. Maurice McCarthy, the number 25, plays for Nemo Rangers.
We've seen him do that all year with Nemo and the club champs. A very good fielder of the ball.
McCarthy is on Mull Ryan in midfield. And here they are contesting. McCarthy just got a touch to it. Joe Kavanagh trying to get it up into his hands. And was it touched on the ground? It was indeed by Sean Maher. Suddenly the greater resolve is with the men in red. And there's a push and there's a free in. The foul committed by Damien Byrne from Feathered, the team captain of Tipperary. And down at the town end, the hordes, thousands and thousands of Cork fans just willing this one over. There's the 2 coaches today. Tom McGlinchey on the left, Eamon Ryan was on the right there. Sean Maher is the player who is down receiving the attention, or will be receiving the attention. Team doctor for Tipperary today is John Hines. Valerie Tobin is their physio. So Colin Corkery has the chance here of levelling the scores for what would be the 2nd time in the match. Tipperary want to bring in their erstwhile captain, as it were, Willie Morrissey, also from Feathered. Beaten in this year's Munster Club final. Sean Maher, I think, is going to make way. He's receiving the attention right now. Well, this should be the equaliser, but let's see just what led to all of that. There is the injury. Ball was touched on the ground. And it gives Colin Corkery the chance now. He can kick right or left. Very gifted player. Tip want to make their change. They'll have to wait a little while. 4th official is holding up the board. Corkery, full of concentration. He glides it beautifully. They're level. 2nd time of the game. The initiative rested with Tipperary, having a 3 and 4 point lead. But now Cork have come back big time, 210 to 113.
Yes, they have, and we're looking here to see some gifted footballers playing with Declan Brown and Colin Corkery. Any stage will be graced by their presence. Left or right leg from the ground. I was hoping he'd kick it with his right leg, actually, because I'm not too sure I trust him with his left leg, but he knew what he was doing.
Well, he'd probably have to screw it in with that right leg, wouldn't he? Got across the ball. Cork now looking to go back into the lead again. Joe Kavanagh, and it's kicked out over the sideline, and Tip will have it back. Tip are still very dangerous. Both sets of forwards can do it. In particular, Declan Brown, of course, the leader of the pack for Tipperary, if he gets decent ball. Let's see what happens here as Fergal O'Callaghan reels free of that, but it's not a good ball. Knocked into space by Fionn Murray. Colin Corkery taking on his marker, Damien Byrne. Byrne trying to bottle him up over there. And he did enough to put Corkery off. They're still level. Nearly 29 minutes are gone in the second half. 6 to go. Cork are about to make another change. They're about to bring in Colin Crowley from Castlehaven. Figures as a sub in many matches nowadays for Cork. Mulryan has a chance to bend and collect this one, but there was a push earlier on, I think, on Damien O'Brien, and it's going to be a free to Tipperary.
The next few scores now, Ger, are absolutely vital.
Remember, the game is level. Philip Clifford is going off. Colin Crowley will come in and take his place. Clifford in no particular hurry, I think quite disgusted and annoyed, in fact, to be withdrawn at this stage.
You'll probably find Fionn Murray going back in the corner again and Colin going half forward.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Tipped, trying to set up a chance here, and that's really given away, and given away very badly indeed by Willie Morrissey. The player has just come on. Not quite sure if Tipperary eventually won the Munster Cup, whether he'd go up and receive it. Technically, he is the captain. Sean Cullum came down a little bit slow there to Graham Canty. Now at midfield, has been since the start of the second half. Good shoulder there against Sean Cullum, looking for the lead point. Canty has kicked it, but kicked it to the right. 5 minutes to go. Team still level. 2-10 to 113 for Tipperary. That's Mickey Niblock there, former Derry star, Cork selector on the right-hand side. Jim Cronin, the county board chairman, in there as well. Well, for those people who said this was going to be a washout, forget it. It's been anything but. It's been terrific. Great excitement. Tipperary refusing to die, showing us great skills. But those 2 goals in the first half really did rock them. And Cork get it back again. Colin Crowley. Well, inside towards Fionn Murray. Little tip up to himself there, beating Niall Kelly to it. Lovely release of the ball inside, but it just ran beyond Joe Kavanagh. And Benny Hahasi is able to restart it all once again for Tipperary. Possession vital at this stage. Each side will expect to get a couple of more scoring chances. They'll have to take them.
They do, and both teams are tiring now and they're making mistakes.
Interesting that Colin Corkery is the only Cork scorer during this second half. O'Brien coming, doesn't quite take it, but it breaks nicely for Fergal O'Callaghan. It was intended for Declan Brown. Anthony Lynch's marker at this stage. Fist to the head once again. And again, it's got to demand some vigilance here on the part of Owen Sexton. Knocked in the back he was that time by Peter Lambert, and the free out is awarded. And Tipperary will be making another change very shortly now. Michael Spillane will come in. He's another one of the feathered players for the last couple of minutes. 2.5 of normal time to go. Is there to be a winner? It'll be possession for Cork.
I'm sure Colin Corkery will fancy that. I know it's a long way out.
Well, it's a free, and as you say, it is a long way out. It's about 50 metres out. Longer when you consider that he is just a couple of metres in from the sideline. But every schoolboy in Cork will be wearing white football boots next week if Cork go on to win this. Player is coming off is going to be Benny Hickey for Tipperary, and he's the player who got the goal for them after 9.5 minutes of the second half. And the fresh man in is Michael Spillane. Here's Colin Corkery winding himself up for it, trying to give Cork the lead, dropping in there menacingly. McCarthy trying to get it up onto his hands there, played back here towards Brendan Gerard Sullivan. An ambitious one, ambitious in the extreme, fisted out. Cork have it back. Colin Corkery, players are calling for it very late in the match, trying to kick a winner, and he's put it over the bar. 7 points in all for Colin Corkery, and Cork lead by a point. A minute of normal time still to play. They were all calling for it. There are going to be 3 additional minutes to be played, I've just been told. Corkery, is he to be the hero yet again?
He is the man. Dermot Sullivan won a good ball, laid it off simply, and Colin just took his point very, very well. He's the only one in the forward end at the moment that's looking like they're going to score.
Willie Morrissey taking it back for Tipperary. They need a score now, haven't scored for some time. Towards Declan Brown. Can he get an equaliser for them? He's got possession to begin with. Lays it off beautifully inside. An opportunity. Oh, it just ran away there. And it's gone wide.
Tip should have got a goal there, Gerard.
Paul Cahill was coming through.
There was 2 men right inside him. All he had to do was lay it off first time. Great defending by Anthony Lynch, but that ball should have been left off first time.
It's 20 minutes since Tipperary has scored. That is a poor indictment of their play in the second half. Meanwhile, Cork goal once again. Colin Crowley. Dished out here to Brendan Gerard Sullivan. And he's kicked it high up into the town end. The match is in injury time. 3 minutes of additional time we know to be played. Just a point in it.
And it isn't over yet, because if Declan Brown gets the ball, he'll slot it as well.
Where the scoring chances are concerned, up to this point now, Tipperary are still beating Cork. 28 scoring chances to 27. But it shows what a good job Tipperary have done. It also asks questions about Cork and their potential as All-Ireland champions if they get through from this.
Tipperary are a good team, Gerald. You're looking right through their team. Their defence, unfortunately, has left them down totally in the first half. Didn't do too bad in the second half. Midfield, they beat Cork, and their forwards are capable of scoring against any side. So, their overall package is quite good if they could just work on their defensive side of things. For Cork, Cork will be disappointed, but if they win this, they'll be bloody lucky.
Nobody wants to be condescending about senior players who are trying their backs off, but this year it's been good to see Tipperary come through, to see Limerick come through.
And they're good sides. Limerick are a genuine side. I great belief in Limerick going up playing against Mayo. They're a genuine side that any team in the country wouldn't like to see them drawn against them. Well,
a friend of mine who was there last night told me they were unlucky to lose. Brendan Cummins back on his feet again. Referee will add a bit of time on. On my watch, 1.5 minutes still to play of the second portion of added time, as it were. But surely there'll be a little bit more than that for that stoppage there. Niall Fitzgerald. Brendan Cummins recovered from injury. Cork funneling men back. Everybody back behind the ball. Sean Levis going up for this. 2 players getting him on another's way. And once again, it is you-know-who, Declan Brown. But out from the goal area where he's so effective. Mulryan. O'Connell. Here's a chance. Cullum. Can he kick a point? Closed down. Back once again to the substitute. Here's a great chance. And that is over the bar.
Terrific score and well deserved. Really
it is Niall Kelly who's done it. He's come right up from corner back. Tip do not deserve to lose this.
Definitely not, and he took the right option. It was very mature football by Tipperary. Held the ball till the opportunity came and punched it over the bar.
Teams level for the 3rd time. Referee still playing another few seconds. Ronan McCarthy. Let's hope the other matches you're going to watch live on TV today will be every bit as good. The match in Croke Park coming up shortly. Then it's Portlaoise round about 6:15. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, will he be the hero? They look at it, but he's put it wide. Oh dear. Thrilling stuff.
I'd be very surprised if the referee doesn't blow it now, Ger.
It would look to be a replay at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, and the fixtures will be in tatters. The draw coming up tonight for whoever was to lose this, along with the others. Nobody has lost. They finish level. Tipperary will take an awful lot of the credit. They were very much the underdogs, but Tom McGlinchey's team have battled bravely, and in Declan Brown they had a player who scored 8 points. Their goal came 9.5 minutes into the second half from Benny Hickey. There's Brendan Ger O'Sullivan, 2 goals in the first half, and my goodness, how important they were. This is once again a look back at the key moments. That was Hickey's goal after Kevin O'Dwyer made a very good save, but he followed up very well, and Benny Hickey slotted it home. Crucial goal. And then this is what happened. The equaliser from Niall Kelly from Killadangan in County Tipperary, coming up from the right corner back position. And it was a game which I think everybody really did enjoy, because it was so competitive. It could have gone either way, and it was a very, very fine afternoon sport. And the final scored here as Brendan Cummins makes his way off. They're level at the end. Tipperary battling 1-14. Cork, the favourites, 2-11. It's all to be done again. Let's go down to Fineen Muckavoord, and he's got Tom McGlinchey with him, who should be a very proud manager.
Well, Tom, congratulations. You pulled it out of the fire at the last minute. What are your immediate thoughts?
Well, I don't know. Congratulations, all. I suppose we got a draw that we probably deserved. We probably should have won it on the day, like, you know. But again, there's a lot of talk about Tipperary, that they were no good at this and no good at that. It was all the talk about Cork. But, you know, like, them fellas deserve all the credit they get. And I think if you look at the game, and anyone looks back in the game, say it's probably one of the best games this year. It was fast, open brand of football. And, you know, 2 teams gave it everything. Probably the hottest day of the year as well. So
It was a great game to watch. What particular aspects pleased you, Tom?
I suppose the fact that we were down 6 points coming up at half-time, we came out at half-time, like, we had a game plan, we stuck to it, and we didn't panic, and like, we just kept kicking off the points. And I mean, when they closed down Declan, we had other fellas like Paul Cal to pop up. Benny Hickey came in, sub, got the goal. So from that point of view, it was pleasing that the people that we brought in did the job as well, you know.
There were some particularly good displays. Who in particular would you like to point out?
Oh, it was an 18-man performance there, like, you know, everyone played their part, like, you know what I mean. Philly Ryan, people don't know, Philly Ryan went through a fitness test this morning, and he made one mistake, but apart from that, his kick-outs were excellent. The whole backline were brilliant. Damien Byrne didn't give Colin Cochrane a sniff of the ball. And like up front, I suppose our lads did the business. So overall, it's a good team performance.
So do you think it's one that really got away, or are you just still happy to be there?
We're still happy to be there, and you know, the game I hope will bring us on a bit. I suppose Cork now probably won't take us as lightly the next day, and I suppose the surprise element will be gone. But from that point of view, we've an awful lot to improve on as well, and our lads can play a lot better as well. So you know, hopefully we all to play for the next day.
Okay, Tom, thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Fernand.
Thanks indeed. There's the trophy that was supposed to be presented by Christy Cooney, the chairman of the Munster Council, whose daughter Edel is over in Boston watching this, a Cork supporter, but she'll have to watch again next week because it's finished level after a thriller in Thurles. Let's go back to Dublin.
Yeah, thanks very much to Ger Canning and Tony Davis, our commentary team there. Well, you know, we were looking forward to the Dublin-Kildare match. It's been the thriller of the afternoon. I think we've just seen it.
Who'd want to be a pundit, for God's sake, that you couldn't have predicted that, in all honesty? You certainly couldn't predict it at the start. You wouldn't have predicted at half-time, and everything we said at half-time was quite correct. The second half, just that was a transformed Tipperary team. I mean, the defence in the first half, who were making a great impression of a junior B, were absolutely superb in the second half. I mean, Cork attack, only one player scored in the second half, that was Colin Cochrane. They tightened up considerably. They took the game to Cork. And, you know, at the end of the day, probably they lacked that conviction that they were going to finish off the game. You know, they were 3 points up, 20-something minutes to go. They had Cork on the rack and just they failed. I think, you know, Cork's move of bringing Anthony Lynch over to Declan Brown. Declan Brown didn't score from play in the second half. Tipperary only got 1 point from play in the last 20 minutes of the game. But fair play to them. I mean, it was a deserved draw. I think it's one that they've lost their chance. I have a feeling they might have lost their chance. The surprise element is gone. Cork will be ready. That was a very, very poor Cork performance. It was a performance of a team of fancy Dans who were just up to collect the trophy and just discovered almost to their cost that they had difficult opponents. But maybe the element of surprise is gone. Maybe Cork will win it next. But tremendous display by Tipperary.
And yet, as I said at half-time, if it hadn't been for the goals.
It hadn't been for the goals. But like, in fairness, you know, the couple of silly mistakes by Tipperary cost them the game. Marvellous entertainment. You know, we were hoping that this would be a good game and a build-up. If the Kildare-Dublin match is half as entertaining, we're in for a real thrilling afternoon. Cork midfield, again, collapsed, as it has done in nearly every big game in the past. Their half-forward line was found wanting, and Cork dug them out of a hole. Like, when Cork gave me the impression of a team who came in mentally flat into it, thought they had the game won, and were never able to raise their game. But it was some transformation for Tipperary to come from 2-6 to 6 points behind at one stage and go 1-13 to 2-7 up in the space of about 20 minutes, playing great football and showing great composure for a team who were complete underdogs and were behind. You'd think they were 10 points in front with the ball they played at that stage. And in the end, they just lacked the killer punch. They sat back a bit. I think, you know, when they went 3 points up, they thought they nearly had it, and instead of forcing the advantage home. But Cork, you know, have got out of jail on this one. There's a lot of thinking. I said I thought Cork beforehand were potential All-Ireland winners if they could get their midfield sorted out. It seems as if they have an awful lot more problems than just midfield.
Yeah, OK, gentlemen, let's take a look at the statistics from that game just to wrap up on this fascinating and absorbing Munster football final, and more of the same, presumably in a week's time. The scoreline there first, ending all square, 17 frees to Cork, 13 to Tipperary. They had 13 wides, Cork against Tipperary's 10 wides, 145 to Cork, 2 to Tipperary in that, and there was, I think, 1 yellow card actually issued in the course of that match. But a very sporting Munster football final. Now, who was the man of the match from that game? Declan Brown, Colin Corkery, somebody else? It's your choice. 1550 717 111.
And in the Farlar Park, he goes on a scored a hugging.